We cannot do away with traditional diplomacy. We still need it because there are in-house activities that the public should not be aware of. If we publicize everything that happens between two countries bilaterally, bilateral engagements, then it can be a threat to the relations. So to secure that and make sure any information that is being conducted by two states or any activity, then we need to practice the traditional diplomatic activities, like having our embassies, sending our envoys from one country to the other, so that we can secure our information and our activities that we are conducting. Yes, the public can come in, but later on.
Greetings viewers and welcome once again to the episode of Geopulse Africa. My name is Mungai, and today I find it very prudent enough for us to discuss about how diplomacy has been remodeled. We are witnessing a shift in the space of international relations and diplomacy, where diplomacy no longer circumnavigates itself around career diplomats or state interaction, but has remodeled itself to actually involve things like digital platforms, and also the aspect of states no longer being the actors, but also regional bodies and individuals taking the center stage at diplomacy. So today, in this context, I have invited my guest, Rebecca Ndeto, who is a lecturer of diplomacy and international relations at the Department of Diplomacy and International Studies at the University of Nairobi, and also a Department of Political Science and International Studies at Kwea, Catholic University of East Africa. Welcome, and thank you so much for finding time, Rebecca, and I'm looking forward to having a very robust discussion with you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, so I will just get direct to the question of how diplomacy has morphed into something probably that we need to interrogate in the course of our discussion. Are we witnessing the reinvention of diplomacy, or this is simply the disruption of diplomacy? Because there is a significant departure into the traditional models of how we knew diplomacy. Because we knew diplomacy as an art that was being practiced by career diplomats, presidents as it were. But now there's a new model of diplomacy where even digital platforms are being used to advance diplomacy. So is it an reinvention, or it's simply disruption?
Thank you so much, Mungai, for this opportunity to be in your platform to disseminate knowledge. I appreciate your efforts.
Thank you so much.
In regards to your question, I think it's not a disruption, and it's something that we should accept, given that we are in different time and different era, and things are changing, and we have different advancements in terms of technology, and to integrate that with diplomacy, we have to understand that changing in time should involve changing in how we practice even diplomacy. But again, there are challenges in this changing of practice that we should not ignore. So we have to look into the advantages and the disadvantages of this kind of shift that we are experiencing. Yes.
So are we looking at, the reason I am asking that is because now we are witnessing diplomacy now being digitally transmitted, right?
Yes.
And even a good example is, for example, how states are communicating today in the Iran-Israel-US war.
Yes.
It is not career diplomats who are actually conversing to one another. Even figures like presidents and other political figures, or significant political figures within that space of the states that are actors in the war are using social media to communicate.
Yes.
So there is that element of diplomacy being transmitted digitally, communication, and that has had impact within the global terrain.
Sure.
Yes.
If I can respond, states engaging digitally maybe they are looking at different aspects, such as cost, sending diplomatic envoys from one country to the other, and how safe it is. For instance, sending envoys from the US to Iran, you know, there's war, the airspace is not safe. How safe are our envoys and the cost that you're going to incur to transport our envoys from the US to Iran, from Iran to the US. And again, the public needs to be aware of what is happening between these two countries. And how can they effectively reach to the public through the digital platforms? Because as a Kenyan person, I know already what is happening in Iran, what is happening in the US, what is happening in even other countries, due to the digital world and the digital platforms that we have. So it is an advantage to the public and how they are able to access information. And remember, the public also is part of diplomacy nowadays. We cannot exclude the public and say, like, we are going to practice diplomacy the way it's used to be practiced within the in-house. But nowadays it is different, because the public ought to be available to understand what is happening, criticize and audit what is being conducted between two states. Yes.
So then many would then argue, if that is the direction that diplomacy is taking, and rightly so, this is just a matter of observation.
Yes.
That is the direction of diplomacy in the new epoch.
Yes.
Do we then need embassies or formal diplomatic channels in this new era where diplomacy can be practiced technically anywhere?
Of course, we cannot do away with traditional diplomacy. We still need it, because there are in-house activities that the public should not be aware of. And if we publicize everything that happens between two countries bilaterally, bilateral engagements, then it can be a threat to the relations. So to secure that and make sure any information that is being conducted by two states or any activity, then we need to practice the traditional diplomatic activities, like having our embassies, sending our envoys from one country to the other, so that we can secure our information and our activities that we are conducting. Yes, the public can come in, but later on, after we have conducted businesses between ourselves. Okay. Yes.
Well, very interesting. Now, we have, as we stick to the lane of diplomacy, adopting or assuming a new form and nature, and now also observing, and I'm using the reference of the Iran war because this is something that's happening as we are speaking. We've seen all the actors, all the participants in that war, are using different diplomatic weapons to punish one another.
Yes.
We have seen military pressure as one of the components of the war happening today.
Yes.
But now there is emerging a new, which appears more vicious, economic power. So countries are using their economic power to flex muscles against each other.
Yes.
For example, we can see that there's a very big contention about the Strait of Hormuz and how Iran has tried to restrict operations within that particular stream. And this, of course, has dire consequences to the entire world, especially on the economic front. So, is economic power in the form of trade sanctions, in the form of blocking investments, the new way of flexing diplomatic power, rather than the military power, which I also see as very traditional and will probably eventually dissipate with time?
In diplomacy, we say war is expensive. And it's expensive, arguing from a point of preparing to go to war, purchasing the military weaponry, it is expensive. And even deploying who are going into the war, it is very expensive. So countries have come to realize we spend so much on war. And yet maybe the benefit is not that much as we expect. So why can't we use our economic statecraft to design on how we are going to interact with other countries globally? So countries nowadays have realized that war is expensive, and they have shifted from that practice now to engage into a more economic and more profitable way of maximizing their profits and their engagements with other countries. And that's why they are using economic statecraft, such as foreign aid, like what the US did towards the developing world, and also doing away with implementing sanctions and also restraining investments, like you said.
Yes, yes.
So states have thought and they have realized that they have been spending so much on war, they have been not maximizing on their profits, and they say now we are going to shift to other activities and purpose, and that's why they engage now more into economic sanctions. Look at the wars that China and the US is doing towards the global south. Yes, more of sanctions, more economic restrictions, to make sure that their companies and their states that benefit more as compared to others that they are engaging diplomatically.
Okay.
Yes.
So they would use that economic power to bargain.
Yes.
And also make demands.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so that the other parties could cede.
Yes.
So you say it's about cost, but I'm tempted to ask: is it really about cost, or is it about innovation, or is it now adopting a new structure? Is it really about the money, the cost, or is it about now adopting the new structure of flexing diplomatic muscles?
It all depends on states' preference. If a country feels like war is expensive to us, then they are no longer going to use that tactic anymore. They are going to look into a more economic way of international influence, and that's economy.
Interesting. Now, as we talk about states and how states are using the maybe military power or the economic power or whatever power they could be using, maybe even their strategic locations, their geographical, because geographical locations could also be strategic diplomatic forms of bargain. There is something that we have witnessed, especially in the past like 3 decades, in this new century. Countries have been forming regional blocks. Yes. And utilizing those regional blocks to bargain. Yes. In the international arena. Yes. Especially those countries that have not been in a position even to move from the third class, third class countries to middle powers. Because in this new century, we've also witnessed an erosion of new middle powers. But then there are small countries, especially within the African continent, that have not yet gotten to that point and have started establishing regional blocks. An example is the East Africa Community, IGAD, COMESA, and so on and so forth. Has that been an effective way of Africa leveraging its power within the international arena by hiding? I would say, and hiding here is not meant to demean. It is just trying to portray how it is by concealing themselves within the regional blocks. Has it really worked, or is it working? States have moved away from what you call multilateralism, and they have recognized the power of what we call minilateralism. And why have they done so? They have realized that if we regroup ourselves into the regional economic blocks that we have, like the ones that you have mentioned, that we are going to, number one, to realize what are our common problems.
And again, they are going to realize or understand what is their purpose. For instance, trading within the Asian region or European Union, they have formed their economic blocks, and these economic blocks, they are operating effectively towards making sure that these countries that are member states are benefiting from these economic blocks. Unlike when countries were more of multilateralism and engaging in conferences, agreements that we are covering the global world. But nowadays, they have shifted now to their regions because they have the common interest. For instance, you mentioned about Africa and you asked the question, is Africa really benefiting from these regional economic blocks?
Yes, and whether their regional blocks are actually working.
Yes. I can say for Africa, we are really challenged. If I can pick example of African Union, remember we are being funded by European Union, which makes it difficult for Africans to have any power on the organization.
Or even independence of thought.
Yes, yet it is our organization and it bears the name Africa. And we don't have the capacity even to fund our own organization, the African Union, and we are letting others to fund us. So it means that we do not have the capacity yet. But if we had the capacity to fund our own organization, then it becomes effective. Effective from within and effective from outside. Yes.
So essentially, from an African perspective,
yes,
we are still operating under global powers like the United States and China. We have not yet emancipated ourselves from their chains.
Yes.
Okay. That's interesting. So, what, if as a public intellectual and someone who is, of course, serving within the area of diplomacy and how regional integration, what would be the most effective measure to take to ensure that the regional blocks that we have already established, first of all, have more power and leverage power even in the global arena? Can be effective in terms of the operation,
yes,
and can help us in bargaining. What different thing can we do to make our regional blocks operational, and not only operational but powerful,
yes,
to the effect that we can use them to bargain?
Number one, make sure that we do not get any funding from any external organization. Number two, make sure that we exercise sovereignty within ourselves. If it's EAC, for instance, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania, they make sure that sovereignty is not touched by any external state or external organization. And this is how now our states will be able to negotiate outside there economically and say that we have power. We have power within ourselves. And we have the capacity. This is our level, and we are not depending on anyone. Yes.
Now, I want us now to discuss about the establishment of new institutions. We do not have new institutions per se.
Yes.
EAC is the same one that was established years ago.
Yeah.
The African Union.
Yes.
COMESA, ECOWAS, and even institutions that are outside within the African continent.
Yes.
But institutions are the same against a backdrop of new challenges.
Yes.
You know, and new realities like climate change, like cyber warfare, like artificial intelligence.
Yes.
So we get to the point where we have the same medieval institutions that are not in a position to deal with modern problems. Is it time in this 21st century that new regional institutions are formed with the realization that we are dealing with new challenges?
Yes.
Is it time?
Remember I asked that question when we were in that conference where we met.
Yes.
And the response that I got from that gentleman, the professor from Japan, because I was trying to challenge IGAD. I was trying to challenge ECOWAS. I was trying to challenge COMESA. Because these regional blocks have been there for so long.
Yeah.
They have been there, and we're experiencing minimal change in our system. And they have been there for so long. And the response that I got from this professor was that we only need to implement changes as per the time, the era right now, and not doing away with the institutions. So if the institutions that we have can implement changes as per the time, look at the issue that we have, if it's economic issue, if it's cultural issue, if it's a political issue, security issue, they have to check the current situation and don't use methods that were used before to solve the issue that we are facing nowadays. So they have to look at the dynamics and also look at the change in time and use technologies, use advancements that are currently in now to solve current issues without doing away with the institutions. We can do away with the institutions and bring new institutions, but bring new institutions with the same kind of organization, purpose, vision, mission, and doing the same things that were being done by other organizations that we are done with. But if we just implement changes in these institutions that we have and bring expertise, people who understand the issues of nowadays, and be able to solve the issues that we have right now, they need to bring the changes that we need without doing away with the institutions that we have.
What is your opinion about multinationals and multinational corporations as new platforms for advancing diplomacy? We have very big tech companies with significant influence all over the world, in Africa, outside Africa, and they hold a very pivotal position in the diplomatic world, as it were, today. What is their place and what do you think is the role that they are playing?
Multinational corporations or the international organizations that come to invest, for instance, in Kenya, when you look at their GDP, is more than what Kenya can afford. So they are becoming more powerful as compared to states because number one, of their GDP, and number two, their influence globally. And that does not call for us to say that we do not recognize a state, because number one, these multinational corporations are planted in the states. So if they are going to influence power globally as compared to a state, the state still has its powers internationally, and we cannot dispute that. And these multinational corporations, they still have their powers. So if each can operate independently without influencing or interrupting businesses of each other, then the state will have power at the international stage. The multinational corporations will have its power at the international stage. And these multinational corporations, again, they are the one who boosts state's economy. Because when they come to invest in a certain country, they create employment, they boost state's revenue, they also industrialize these states where they invest in. So they somehow gain power in state affairs and interaction with the people. And internationally as well, but again, it is not, the operation in a country should not limit state's capacity to influence its foreign policy internationally. Yes.
Now, there is something that I've been struggling to understand, and perhaps you can help me and also viewers understand. For example, Kenya is having partnerships with some of these multinational corporations.
Yes.
Our SGR, for example, who is the one that will be moving, I think, from stretching all the way to Malaba.
Yes.
We also have the new Rironi Mau Summit Road that is currently under construction. And these infrastructural projects that are being advanced by the government of Kenya are being pushed or rather implemented at the ground level by these multinational companies.
Yes.
I won't mention them, but we know them.
Yes, we know them.
Now, do these multinational companies operate under the instructions from their mother states, or they interact independently with our state? Because that's another aspect of diplomacy that has not been interrogated properly. Do they have the blessings of their mother states, or we are just interacting like me, Kenya, interacting with company A, company B, with the helping in financing the construction of this road or this railway?
Of course, these multinational corporations, they operate under the instructions of their origin, their countries of their origin.
Yes.
And they do so even with before they invest in a country like Kenya. For instance, if we can pick a certain multinational corporation, for instance, in your mind that you know, their country of origin, before they invested in Kenya, they'd already done what we call background check, and they understood this is what you're going to meet in Kenya. And the operation in Kenya has been for so long. That is the company that you have in mind. And this certain country, they have operated in a way that they feel there are challenges that ought to meet in this country, Kenya. So they tend to work with the government to improve the structures, the infrastructure, to improve structures, to improve maybe
even things like employment.
Yes, employment, creating more employment to the youth. And they have to check into the challenges. This is the challenges that Kenya has for them to be able to operate effectively. And also, remember, these companies are here to make profits. And they cannot make profits in a challenging environment. For instance, if Kenya is experiencing insecurities, they cannot maximize their profits if Kenya is experiencing insecurity. So they have to help the state to navigate through that. And these multinational corporations, again, they do not want their employees. Remember, they bring some of their employees from their countries of origin. And they do not want their employees and people of their beloved countries to experience these challenges, yet they can help the state navigate through that. Yes.
Okay. Now,
that's why we have. That's why we have Kenya, the issue of SGR that you mentioned, and the Mau Summit Road. Yes, that's why we have that kind of arrangement, so that they can help the communities benefit through helping the state or facilitating the state to do away with those kind of challenges that you have. Remember, Kenya is a developing world. We are not still there in terms of infrastructure, industrialization, and
even the military power.
We are not yet there. So if we can be helped to navigate through these challenges, then why not? Yes.
Now, as we conclude this discussion,
yes,
I've heard the word about maximizing profits.
Yes.
And the way I understand diplomacy, diplomacy is the foundational process of give and take.
Yes.
But the reality of diplomacy, as I have known and I have read it, diplomacy is very exploitative and manipulative.
Exactly.
And
it gets back to political science.
Yes.
Who gets what?
Yes.
And when?
Yes. Do you hold the view that diplomacy hides in the big word about diplomacy, but it's very manipulative diplomacy? If companies are coming here to make profits,
yes,
and some of them are unimaginable profits, even though they will leave us with the infrastructure, they will leave us with the roads, the burden that is left for Kenyans is so huge to the extent that we need now to interrogate the return of value for the investment.
Yes.
Is this diplomacy or is this usually business? especially when we are looking on the economic angle?
For a person who has done international political economy, you'll understand that these multinational corporations, they are not here just to help Kenya, quote unquote, but they are here to make profits. Because why should I invest in an area that I'm not benefiting? So it means that I'm getting something. As you mentioned, that diplomacy is really manipulative in the language of multinational corporations. And again, and I want us to shift from multinational corporation and look even at the international lending institutions. They are lending us to improve on our infrastructure, to improve on our industrial capacity. But again, we are not understanding that these institutions are here to milk us. And they are here to benefit from us, not us benefiting from them as per se. So if our governments could look into analyzing situations and analyzing the benefits that you're going to get after our interaction with this multinational corporation, then it will not place our citizens or the public towards too much burden that we experience after these organizations have left. Yes, we'll be left with the infrastructure, we'll be left with the industries, but again, what are the disadvantages of our engagement with them? Yes.
So for you, it's a direct question, when we are engaging with these multinational corporations,
yes,
are we usually gaining or losing?
We are gaining. We are gaining. Remember, number one, they come and create employment. Number two, there's infrastructural improvement and economic development as well. And again, we tend to become more industrialized and attract even foreigners to come in our countries and promote our tourism sector. But again, we are losing on the other end because all the profits that these multinational corporations make, they transfer back to their country. So it's upon time that nations negotiate in terms of requesting these multinational corporations, if some part of the profits that they make can be transferred back to the countries that they are operating from, then it will benefit the host countries. Yes.
Well, those are very interesting thoughts.
Yes.
And I thank you very much, Rebecca, for finding time to have to come and at least expound on this new area of diplomacy that is now gradually taking shape. Although before we conclude, the reason I was asking whether we are gaining or losing is because sometimes when we are having these agreements, especially on infrastructure,
yes,
there is a risk of even losing sovereignty. There was a time that we had a discussion of our ports being used as a guarantee for companies in the West. So it's a critical and a very delicate balance that has to be achieved, so that even as we gain infrastructure, we do not lose our sovereignty. Because sovereignty is the heart of any country.
And that's it.
Yes.
We should not look into what are we going to gain at the expense of losing our sovereignty.
At the expense of what we are losing.
Yes.
Exactly. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining us in this very robust discussion. And once again, Rebecca, thank you for finding time.
Thank you,
and coming to help our viewers understand. Because I take this as a platform for learning, and it's very good, especially now that you're a university lecturer, helping us understand. So for those who would want to advance this conversation, I would recommend a book known as Diplomacy by Henry Kissinger. It's a book that has advanced this conversation and has helped to understand what are the shifts that have taken place in the last century and in this new century. So there we go. Thank you very much, and looking forward to having an interaction with you next time. My name is Mungai, and God bless you. There we
Drums
go.
roll.
Thank you. Yeah.